what the rumor mill comes from Andrew Fillipponi. He's one of the main ones that have been starting and perpetuating this false rumor all off season. I just addressed this in the video I'm just uploading right now. I did about Justin Fields and how it's not even a competition and it shouldn't even be discussed right now because Mike Tomlin has addressed it, said Russell Wilson is the starter, has pole position. Just like the GM about 2 weeks ago has addressed this fact that they are not in the market for Brandon Aiyuk. Omar Khan was asked directly by the media, has he been in discussions with the 49ers? And he said no. The 49ers has even came out and said that they're not dealing Aiyuk at this point. So these people keep bringing Pittsburgh's name into this are absolutely ridiculous. Here's what I've heard: the Steelers are willing to put into a trade for Brandon Aiyuk, Dan Moore, James Daniel, Calvin Austin, second round pick. I heard the 49ers want one of these back in a trade for Aiyuk. First round pick, Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens. So how did you hear this when literally 2 weeks ago the GM said that they are not in discussions with the 49ers? There's been no discussions. So it just proves right here, right now, that 93.7 The Fan is a joke. This guy is trying to report this as news right now. It is straight information, straight misinformation. I mean, it doesn't go along with their narrative. I mean, the GM literally put this shit to bed. Said he was not even in negotiations. Now he has the whole negotiating platform in front of him right now. It's going to cost Dan Moore, James Daniels, Calvin Austin, and a second round pick. We're going to give up our whole offensive line. We're going to give up 2 starters on the offensive line, Calvin Austin, and a second round pick who essentially could be Brandon Aiyuk next year. We're going to give that all up for Brandon Aiyuk, who's on a 1-year deal, who's threatening to hold out, wanting a new contract right now. And we have George Pickens, who's going to be on a come up, who only has 2 years left on his rookie deal this year and next year, who we're going to have to be negotiating with here soon. We have Najee Harris, who's not on contract after this season. We have Jaylen Warren, who's not on contract after this season. We have Russell Wilson, who's not on contract after this season. We have Justin Fields, who's not on contract after this season. And multiple other players. Those are just the big names on offense that I can think of right off the top of my head that are not on contract next season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But hey, we're going to mortgage the future. We're going to give up our entire offensive line. We're going to give a first-round pick, and we're going to give up Calvin Austin, who I think can have a breakout year this year, now that he's going to be getting more reps and more targets this year without Deontay Johnson being here, and he's going to have like maybe a third will in this wide receiver rotation. Honestly, and who's been getting so much hype from these same people from 93.7 The Fan to what? Go out there and get Brandon Aiyuk, who might come here, and if we trade for him, threaten to hold out and not play because we don't give him a contract or the $30 million he wants. The Steelers are not the type of team that's going to go out there and give a Brandon Aiyuk $30 million and a wide receiver $30 million. The Steelers are a team that has known traditionally, even though Omar Khan has been being a little bit more aggressive in free agency in terms of trading and in terms of the draft, they're still a team that is known for building internally. And really, that's what we have still been doing, really. I mean, we went out there and got Russell Wilson on the free agent lottery market to basically get Russell Wilson for free lotto. And we basically stole Justin Fields from the Bears for a 6th-round pick to have a backup. And we got rid of Kenny Pickett for a 3rd. I mean, obviously, in hindsight, those are great moves for Omar Khan. But I don't think there's any real future with Justin Fields here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's just a solid backup that Omar Khan was able to get for a 6th-round pick. And we were gifted the fact that we are the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Russell Wilson wanted to join the legacy in the culture that is Pittsburgh, the greatest franchise in NFL history. So we got him for essentially free. But that does not mean that we're going to go out there and give up all these players for Brandon Aiyuk, who's on a 1-year deal. We got all these fast receivers. The tight end is basically the number 1 receiver in the goddamn Arthur Smith offense anyway. And it's going to be basically a lot of play action, deep passes. And we have all the receivers we need on this roster to stretch the field and go deep and burn defenses deep. There's like 4 guys on this roster that run 4.340s. Like Van Jefferson runs a 4.340, Calvin Austin's in the 4.3 range. I think even Roman Wilson was clocking in at the 4.4, 4.3 range. And then we have another speedster, I forget his name, Scotty Miller or something like that. Who there's another guy we picked up that it was just a speedster. And we got George Pickens, who's going to be an every down, every guy, every route type of receiver this year instead of just being a deep ball receiver. I think George Pickens is elite. I think George Pickens is already better than Brandon Aiyuk. I don't care what the stats say. I think George Pickens is going to have a ball out year now that he's the number one wide receiver. And if anything, we're going to invest big money into a wide receiver. It should be a homegrown talent like George Pickens. And George Pickens is going to come out and ball this year. I think he gets a bet. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit of a head case. He wants to be the number one receiver. And for a good reason. He is the number one receiver on this roster. But Andrew Fillipponi, I mean, this dude does nothing but tweet garbage all day and just talk bullshit all day. And it needs to be addressed, bro. I mean, Omar Khan has denied the Aiyuk rumors, and we still got people like this coming out with this shit every day as if it's real, as if it's a scenario, as if it's happening. And it's not. It's just for ratings. It's just clickbait. And I'm a guy here on YouTube, bro. All right. I'm just on YouTube. This is CBS Sports Radio just running with garbage, fake news, fake narratives every day. And it's pretty sad, man, to see.